Hello pilots and welcome to Motion RC. I'm your product specialist Wesley, and today we are doing the deep dive on the Freewing Zeus. Now the Zeus has been one of our most popular models to date, bringing out in our sport jet line of aircraft. This aircraft is available in 6 different options right now. You have both color schemes, and you have this in 8S, 6S, or ARF Plus. ARF Plus means that it's not going to come with the motor or the ESC, but all other electronics in the aircraft are already installed for you. So if you have a spare 90mm power system laying around, you can drop that into your aircraft and save a little bit of money. Now going into a little bit more detail, like I said, there are 2 options available right now. We have this beautiful blue scheme. You can see the videos over on motionrc.com of this aircraft flying. And then we also came out by demand of our customers with the beautiful orange paint job, affectionately known at the flying field as the Orange Crush or the Dreamsicle. I've heard all kinds of funny names about this one, but I will say the orange is extremely striking in the air. You got any UT fans or Tennessee fans? This one makes a great repaint to one of your favorite sporting teams. So at this point, let's get the aircraft down on the table and start going over some of the quirks and features of these models. So let's start off with how easy this model is to assemble. It's going to come out of the box with all electronics pre-installed in the aircraft, and it all screws together. There is no glue involved in this aircraft. On the tail, you actually push the tail in, it clips in, and then you have the screw at the top and the bottom to tighten this one up. Then you're going to slide the rudder down, and you're going to use the 5 Allen-headed screws to install that on the aircraft. Finally, you're going to put the elevator on from the bottom, and that takes 4 screws, and you plug in your 2 connectors. At this point, you slide the wings on using the quick connects, and then put your nose cone on, and that's all there really is to assembling the Zeus. It is that simple. Now, a little more detail on those quick connects. As you can see, these are push button style. As you push them in and release, they're going to pop out. When you can see the white outline around them, that means they are disconnected. Simply push those in and they snap in to be fully locked. On the end of the wing, you're going to notice there are aluminum receiving points that those connectors actually go down and lock into. And it has your multi-function control connector. You only have that one connector to drive the lights, ailerons, flaps, and landing gear. So speaking of lights, the Zeus actually has quite a few out of the box. You have a red and green nav light on the wings, then you have a red strobe on the top and bottom, and a landing light up on the front of it. Now for customers that want even more lights on their model, we also offer the Freewing tail flame afterburner kit that's going to screw right onto the back of these motors and add so much detail to the model. They're super fun, it's inexpensive, so when you're picking one of these airplanes up, I highly recommend just throwing one of those into the box with them. Another nice quality of life feature that's on a lot of the Freewing aircrafts and has made it over here to the Zeus, the nose cone is magnetic and removable. Speaking of removable components, you also have the hatch on top where you're going to put your battery in and out. It's actually the entire canopy. And you've got a switch button at the back of it that's going to actually lock that in and release it from the aircraft. Now, there was some plastic cladding added to the front of the intakes on the Zeus. You can see they are nice and sharp, and these are hard plastic, so you're not going to have to worry about damaging these. This is one of the cleanest designed intakes of any Freewing model, and that's where you get the speed out of this, is how well the ducting is done in this aircraft. So we don't want to mess that up and make airflow that's not good. So that looks good and it stays nice and strong. Next, let's flip the model over and check out the landing gear. What you're going to notice is these are machined aluminum struts, some of the best quality gear for grass guys out there on the market. Large tires on this. Like I said, this was made to be the everyday flyer on any field surface and have a great time. Now on the mains, you're going to see these are trailing link landing gear. Now this is some of the best type of landing gear to use on a grass field surface, because you're going to notice when it hits a bump, these kind of move back and up instead of just going straight up and down, and it takes a lot of the forces out of those main landing gear that are normally experienced on rougher landings. Now up on the front, you're going to also notice this is also a trailing link suspension, and you have the landing light right there on the pot that's going to go up and down and turn off with the landing gear. It's all controlled through the blue box in the aircraft, so you don't have to do any of that in mixing or anything now. It's all handled for you. Now, speaking of the blue box and the electronics in the aircraft, if we open the hatch up at this point, you're going to see there is a ton of room in the Zeus. So no matter what battery pack you're using, you can fit it. Now for 6S, we can run the 5000, we can run the 5100 carbons, you can run a 6000. I've even seen guys putting 7000 milliamp batteries in here. It can CG no issue with whatever pack you put in it on 6S. Now for guys running 8S, what I personally run is a 5000 milliamp Admiral 6S and a 5000 milliamp 2S LiPo battery. Then we sell the little series connector to plug into that into the ESC. The reason I like running that setup is I like to run my afterburner, and as long as you plug it in per our manual for this aircraft, we actually have a specific manual for 8S customers using the afterburner. You have to plug it in a certain way. There's also a video here on motionrc.com if you're interested in learning more about the afterburner available. But as long as you set the series connector up correctly, you can just plug our afterburner right into your 6S and then run it in the 8S setup. So, like I said, that's one of the options. The other one I've ran in here a lot is two 5000 milliamp or two 6000 milliamp 4S batteries with that same connector. Now let's talk a little bit about the control surfaces of the Zeus. You're gonna see these are all pocketed and hinged control horns. This is not a foam hinge, this is an actual hinge. So you're not gonna have to worry about these things getting loose over time and coming off of the aircraft. Now it also has ball link clevises all around that are pre-installed for you right out of the box. Just when you turn it on the first time, make sure everything is centered correctly, and that's all you really have to do on that. Now, as far as actually flying the Zeus, it is a very forgiving jet, but I do run a cut on my ailerons. At 100% throws, it is super sensitive. So I normally run about 60% ailerons and about 20% expo. Now on the elevator, it does feel a little bit heavier on this aircraft, especially at lower speeds. So what I like is 100% throw with 30% expo. That way I have that stick authority if I need it at slower speeds. Just be careful, because with that much throw, if you get the aircraft really slow and you pull hard on it, it will do an accelerated stall. You're gonna drop a wing at that point. So just be careful at slower speeds. Keep it at a nice even angle, let it bleed at speed. You want to touch mains first with the Zeus when you land it. As long as you hit mains first, it never bounces. If you hit nose wheel first, it will bounce and start flying again. If you bounce the Zeus, power and go around. Don't try and ride that out. The bounce will begin to oscillate and keep going. I want you to save your aircraft, guys, so if you ever hit nose first and you start a bounce, just power up, do a go around, come back and do another shot at the landing. I'm telling you, if you guys try and start riding that bucking Bronco, you're gonna tear stuff up doing that. Now the other really cool feature of the Zeus is this is the fastest model ever made in foam sold out of the box. This model in the 8S form is 150 mile an hour straight and level. We're not talking diving or anything like that. Now, in the 6S version, it's gonna do about 130, which is extremely respectable for 6S. I try and tell you the straight and level stuff. Diving them, I've seen them go faster. Out at Florida E-Jets this year, on 8S, in a dive, going past the radar gun. I mean, I've seen these things do 180 on a good dive with a good tailwind. I mean, it's really fast. But I just want you to know, out of the box, straight and level, 150 on the 8S, you're gonna do about 130 on 6S. Well guys, that really covers the Freewing Zeus in as much detail as I can. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you decide to get one, they're available right here at Motion RC right now. If you want to go check them out, both on our motionrc.eu and motionrc.com. Until the next time, guys, I'm Wes from Motion RC, and whether it's air, land, or sea, you can get it right here at Motion RC. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.